Hempfield is full of great stories. In fact, Hempfield School District Libraries, a system centered on stories and knowledge, was recently awarded as Best District Library in the state. This month, we'll take a look at some of our own news stories, including a woman and her influence on Hempfield's dance theater, a new addition to the Rohrstown Sculpture Garden, and a local gathering of car enthusiasts here in the community. This and more coming at you right here on Hempfield Happenings. First this month, Dr. Adams created a way for a wide variety of local businesses to give input and learn about Hempfield classes.
Grand Central Bagel is one of the many local businesses that are part of Hempfield's Superintendent Business Advisory Council, also known as SBAC. But what exactly is SBAC?
The Superintendent's Business Advisory Council was actually formed this school year, and the goal is to educate business members about the educational environment in Hempfield, and also to dispel any rumors and to create good partnerships.
Part of the purpose of the council, to my understanding, is to work with local businesses to create an understanding of how Hempfield can help to create future employees for some of these businesses.
We provide some perspective to the superintendent around just the environment and the climate of the local business community.
With the deficit in the trade industry in the next 8 to 10 years, between 75 and 80% of our industry will be retiring, and just wanting to represent that industry to the high school.
Despite still being new, SBAC is already proving how beneficial it could be for both the school and community.
So we're able to discuss ways that we can partner together to be sure that we're creating educational programming that's beneficial for our business community, and that we can keep Hempfield graduates here in Hempfield.
It's a great opportunity for the local business community to really understand what's happening in the high schools.
So I think just forming those relationships, seeing what Hempfield is doing, also talking with the other leaders in the business community and seeing what they're facing as well, and just having a community and a conversation has been beneficial for us.
Based on what they've seen so far, the SBAC members are eager to find out what its future holds.
We have businesses who are interested in finding ways to more closely partner to offer opportunities for students, and we've been able to offer students some opportunities at the local businesses. So we expect that that will grow in the years to come.
I think, what I've seen is Dr. Adams is very innovative in terms of his approach to education and thinking in ways that in ways to connect the business community with students that are coming out of high school, and it's been a very positive thing.
Really excited to continue this initiative with the Business Advisory Council moving forward. We'd like to think that we're preparing students well for their future and to potentially serve their community by working in the community.
I am just really, really thrilled that Hempfield is seeking the conversation with the business community, and just having a superintendent and an administration that works with and listens to is really exciting.
Local businesses such as Grand Central Bagel have teamed up with Hempfield School District in order to prepare our students for the workforce. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Dana Grainer.
Hempfield's Dance Theater is an annual event that takes work from many groups of people. Taylor Hess explored the costume department and one woman's influence upon it.
There's a sweet love packet that's going in a box.
Okay, so you can...
Every year, Hempfield puts on a production of dance theater, and in order for the show to go on, you need costumes. Our costume designer is Kate Wilman.
I am the costume designer, so I design the costumes and collect them and get them and fit them for all of the cast. I work with Cody. he has ideas that he likes. I work with Kristen as well. We get together collectively and pick things out and put them together.
Reagan, a dance theater member, talks about the costumes that Kate has created.
They're nice. Like, you can tell that there's a lot of work put into it. It's not just like the day before the show. It's like you can tell that people actually care and want you to look good while dancing on stage. Without Kate's costumes, the show would not be the same at all. Her costumes portray the message and the characters that Cody is all about in the show.
Because I like the creative process and I like working with other people and coming up with that. It's fun when it is a group effort, and it's fun to work on a process from beginning to end. I really do work on it from beginning to end, it's not just about picking a pair of pants. I really do think about everything that goes up there. I think about all of the kids, and I think about all of the dance moves and all of the numbers, and that's what I enjoy about it.
You can tell that there's no paint on my brush.
Well, we don't see her a lot, but when she comes and actually talks to her, she's really kind and like caring, but most of her work is behind stage, which without her, it's not the same.
Kate's passion for costume designing helps create an amazing performance of dance theater. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Taylor Hess.
A new addition to the Rohrstown Sculpture Garden comes from an unexpected source. Bailey Titter met with the unexpected.
This is John Morrow, local sculptor, Hempfield alum, and Lancaster County native. But that's not all. This is also John Morrow.
Mostly I weld chairs and tables, stuff back together, and then cut grass.
Mr. Morrow has been working at Hempfield High School as a maintenance man for many years. But working at Hempfield is not his only occupation.
I was a welder ever since I was 22 years old, and I don't know why the creativity never attached it to that. But one day, I made a dragon out of an old student's chair that I found out of the trash. It had a wooden bottom and a top. We were having a bonfire one night, and we got rid of some stuff, so we burnt this off. Well, the next day I got up, and there was the frame of this chair. It looked like 4 legs, and the back part looked like the neck of something. And that's when I started. I thought I was going to build a giraffe out of this thing, but it became a dragon.
This first revelation led Mr. Morrow to work with metal more often, making his artwork a key part of his life.
It's become my second job, but it's not actually a job. I mean, I just love to do it. It's just something I have to do. It's an impulse. Anything creative, I just really enjoy it. Creative people seem to be a little bit different too. I like to be around them. They're different.
One of these creative people is his longtime friend, Mrs. Donna Jones, an art teacher at Rohrstown Elementary School.
I guess I was in about 4th grade, so it's a long time ago. 4th grade when we first got to know each other. And then we went through Hempfield together, and we took art classes at the high school. And he was sculpting even then. I can remember our last year at Hempfield, he was sculpting hands out of soap. So he started sculpting out of soap, and now he's working with metal. So he's come a long way.
Putting their artistic skills together, Mr. Morrow and Mrs. Jones collaborated to create a new piece of artwork to go in the Rohrstown Sculpture Garden. This piece is titled Windows of Opportunity.
Windows of opportunity, meaning here we are, elementary school. You only have a few years. You need to grab hold of all you can and learn what you can before you leave.
The plan so far, but sometimes opportunities open up to you, and you step into them. Sometimes they change your whole direction, and sometimes they just enhance the one you're on,
After months of preparation, it was finally given a home on Thursday, April 20th. The sculpture now sits in the garden in front of Rohrstown Elementary School, alongside 2 other sculptures, one of which, a bird learning to read, is also his. Thanks to those like John Morrow, we're reminded to find our windows of opportunity. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Bailey Titter.
Students at East Peak Elementary School have the opportunity throughout the school year to give back to the community. With so many people involved, it has made a major impact.
The East Peak Heroes complete service projects to benefit the community, and tomorrow, the world.
At East Pete Elementary School, the parent-teacher organization helped set up a club for the students to start giving back to the community by doing service projects after school, and the students definitely love it.
I'm getting together with my friends and we talk and we help other kids.
I like spending time with my friends, and it's beneficial to a lot of kids too.
Jen Landis, a PTO member at East Pete Elementary School, tells all about the different projects the club members are working on.
Kindergartners and first graders are doing playground patrol, which allows them to go out on our school grounds and pick up trash. Second graders are finishing up our crayon initiative, which collects loved crayons, otherwise used crayons, melts them down, and then molds them and distributes them to children's hospitals. Our third graders are doing festival prep for our festival that's coming up here May 12th, and they're getting tickets ready and helping us prepare the games for that. Our fourth graders are doing 3 different sets of crafts for us Clyde Weaver to be able to decorate their entranceways and storefront for them. So some spring crafts, some summer crafts, and some early fall crafts.
We're taking water bottles, we're coloring them all different colors, and then we're going to cut them, make them in like the Slinkies and stuff.
And our 5th grade is working on a cutting activity for another nonprofit called Soul Hope. And they take recycled jeans and gallon milk jugs, cut them into templates, put them together, and send them to Uganda, where fair trade workers and make shoes for children in Uganda. And then our 6th graders are beautifying our outside. They're planting flowers in our planters and around our trees.
It's fun because we're helping others, and it just gives you that sensation feeling, and it's just fun, just getting your hands-on activities.
East Pete Service Club is a club where we were just dreaming big and said, let's let the kids have an opportunity to serve and learn how to think beyond themselves and really just serve their community around them, whether that's in school or at home or our East Pete community or beyond.
The East Pete Heroes Club allows the students to see the community as more than just a school. It allows them to see the needs of others and know that they are able to help. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Jack Harrison.
Students at Farmdale Elementary School recently participated in an online math competition called the Keystone Math Cup Challenge.
Students at Farmdale Elementary School recently participated in an online math competition, which was not only educational, but was also competitive for the students involved.
The 5th and 6th grade students at Farmdale used the program Think Through Math, which allowed them to compete with other schools across Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Think Through Math is a program that our 5th and 6th graders work on here at Farmdale. They get on every day during our math intervention time, and so they start with a pre-quiz, they work through a series of games and practice problems, and eventually have to take a post-quiz. Through their lesson, they get to earn points, and the points is what went towards us earning the Think Through Math award.
So one last time, let's cheer for being the 2017 Keystone Math Cup champion.
So the Think Through Math program is sort of a program where you get told lessons and you have to see how many you can pass. And I like how in the guided learning section you have teachers just in case you're having trouble.
The Keystone Math Cup Challenge lasted around 68,000 math hours with about 188,000 lessons completed and 6 million math problems solved. 329 schools and 92,000 students participated, but Farmdale came out on top.
We were very excited because like a month or two earlier, we had found out that we were the school who least used TTM, and then we went up to the school who most used TTM and then won the contest.
I want to emphasize the fact that they worked really hard and definitely worked their butts off to stay in the lead of the competition.
Along with winning the cup, the school was awarded a banner, a $250 Amazon gift card, and Kindle Fire tablets for the standout students. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Devin Unemaker.
Throughout the year, athletes at the high school participate in a different kind of cup.
Aside from the Lancaster-Lebanon League, the PIAA allows non-league matches to fill student-athlete schedules. To add a flair of camaraderie and competition, the Keystone Cup was born.
So the idea was to
to find 3 other schools, find 4 schools that all have quality athletic programs that would be interested in playing each other in every sport to try to get a rivalry going. And we also know that all 4 of the teams are competitive, so it would be a competitive situation for our non-league games.
Involving Lower Dauphin, Dallastown, Governor Mifflin, and Hempfield, the athletic directors of each school met 3 times during the year. Being the first year for the Keystone Cup, things did not go as planned for some of Hempfield athletics.
One thing that Hempfield did is we actually held 3 of our teams back. Just because of scheduling. So we held boys lacrosse out of it and boys and girls volleyball.
Even with this setback, there is still benefit to those involved in the Keystone Cup.
I think the coaches will get to know each other. I think the players will get to know each other. Some of the players already know each other from playing in club sports and out-of-season teams. And I think there'll be a good rivalry where we'll look forward to going to each other's sites and going to each other's places for competition and feel welcome to know we're part of something special.
Hempfield track and cross-country runner Max Lessons shares his perspective on the new competition.
I think it's a neat idea that not only are we racing teams that are very similar to Hempfield, even though they're in different leagues, but it's also seeing which school is the best in like athletics all around, not just in each individual sport. To see what school has the best athletic program.
However, the Keystone Cup does not benefit the schedule of all sports.
It's fun, but there is such thing as too much racing for both track and cross country, and I think the Keystone Cup's just an unnecessary race, and it takes a toll on my body as well as my teammates. I wouldn't be opposed if we stopped.
It turns out that now that we're coming to the end of things, that Dallastown won in the first year. I'd like to think that if we would have had our 3 other teams in there, we would have easily won. That would be another reason why I want to make sure we get our other 3 teams involved, because I want to make sure that we can be as competitive as possible with this.
With improved scheduling and by involving all sports, the Keystone Cup has a bright future. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Quentin Hernandez.
Athletes across the district are extremely active, but with the increase in technology, students could want to stay inside more and not take advantage of the spring.
Despite the warm weather that's coming upon us, people are still attached to their electronic devices. I went out into the community to talk to some individuals about their opinions on this topic.
I think that using electronics too much inside does away with our awareness of what all the outside has to give us and to teach us.
As a world that currently has the latest technology at our fingertips, it can be difficult to give it a break.
Even though you can communicate with people over technology, you're not really going out and doing things with people, you're just stuck inside. And for me personally, you get really pale.
You're missing out on all the beauty that this world has to offer, and you're also missing out on a lot of just the natural benefits that come with it, whether that's exercise or just sun exposure, and just I feel genuinely nature tends to bring more happiness than a screen can bring.
The usage of electronics can impact many parts of our lives.
It's caused me to spend several hours just on my phone doing pointless stuff and avoiding homework.
Past generations probably went outside a lot as kids, or, as teenagers, and probably at the beach and on weekends, and just had fun with those kind of things. And they had a lot more, I think, face-to-face social interaction.
It does have something to do with the way we think of our creature comforts.
Instead of being glued to your electronic devices this spring season, be sure to get outside and enjoy the sunshine. From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Abby Bittner.
Lancaster Public Library holds an event each year to raise funds. So from the Hempfield Library to the Lancaster Library, here's Julia Givens.
Last month, the Lancaster Public Library held the Adopt a Book event, allowing community members to donate in a unique way.
It's an annual event that we hold. Basically, it's a fundraiser to support the library's collection. So we encourage the community to come out, and basically they can browse through a collection of books that have been pre-selected, and they can adopt them.
One must buy a book in order to adopt it, and a plate will then be put onto the inside cover with the buyer's name or a name to honor someone they wish. These books are then added to the library's collection. The money raised from the event also goes towards supporting the library.
funding for the library is always a challenge. We have to generate a lot of the funds just to keep the doors open, and obviously the collection is an essential part of what we do at the library. So being able to get some community support to help us purchase those materials is vital.
The community's response to the event has been nothing but positive.
Well, I think it's fun. I think people get into picking out the books that they enjoy and, you know, putting their name in the donation. So it's kind of a fun way to make a charitable donation.
It's just a great opportunity to just kind of have their imprint on the materials that we have available.
The Adopt a Book event allows the community to be more involved in choosing the library's collection of books.
My husband was a grade school teacher, so I let him pick out the children's books. But I picked 2 nonfiction books. One was called The Dust Bowl Girls, and the other was a new book which is about the history of the U.S. Postal Service.
Jack London's book. It was a favorite book of my husband's, so I did it in his memory.
Both women are able to explain the benefits and importance of books and reading.
I think it's a very important cause, just learning more, vocabulary, ideas, you know.
I like it as an older person to stay curious and to keep learning new things and to use my brain.
Not only does the Adopt a Book event expand the library and provide it with funds, it also allows the benefits of reading to continue impacting people. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Julia Givens.
Every month, a group of local automotive enthusiasts get together to benefit charities and enjoy their love for cars and coffee.
Looking for a high-octane way to help out local charities? Look no further. Welcome to Lancaster Cars and Coffee. Let's go take a look.
Dr. Shay Stevens started Cars and Coffee just 2 years ago with a couple of his fellow car enthusiasts.
I've had Saturns, every Audi possible, BMWs, Mercedes, I've been through all those. Man, we haven't had a Ferrari.
Stevens soon turned it into a charity event as it grew exponentially.
Everyone here was like, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, it's Lancaster, it's not going to work. And now we have 1,000 people that follow it. We had, for this last event, we had 1,000 people interested in coming.
Students make up a large number of the people attending Cars and Coffee.
Facebook events was the biggest thing that we saw it on, and we saw a lot of pictures of the different cars that were there. And a lot of what we go to is different styles, and the Cars and Coffee is more of an exotic and more expensive kind of car that's there. Usually if we're getting people to meet up before, we'll probably get around 10, 15 cars to go with us, and then we'll get there, and there can be 15 cars there, there can be 215 cars there. There's a lot of, it all depends on the weather that day, and that's one of the biggest factors is the weather.
Of course, when you have many high-performance cars meeting in one place, there's a need for police presence.
Just because you have a car that can perform doesn't mean the driver behind the wheel can handle that or handle the conditions, especially when you're on a highway where you've got other drivers and other traffic. I mean, that's just a recipe for catastrophe in some cases. And it has in some other municipalities. There have been instances where people have had drag races and someone loses control and careens into a crowd and people get killed, and then there's all kinds of uproar. So we like to stay on top of these things to avert a tragedy.
Stevens knows this is a concern and welcomes the law enforcement presence because he doesn't want his event shut down.
We post in our Cars and Coffee that we reserve the right to report your license plate to the police if you're doing anything illegal. We reserve the right to kick you out. We reserve the right to ask you to leave, never come back. That's why we're just enforcing it. So we will have police now. If it's over at 11, we'll have the police show up at like 10:30 and just sit there, and people will behave. Or if they're stupid, then they'll get ticketed.
Together, Stevens and the Lancaster Police have been working hard to keep Lancaster Cars and Coffee a family-friendly charity event.
For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Christian Groff.
The Pennsylvania School Library Association awarded Hempfield's library as the best of its kind. For more information on this and other stories, tune into next month's edition of Hempfield Happenings.